Maybe Eddie Hearn can translate for us. What does a little gypsy magic sprinkled into this fight mean, as Billy Joe's father was speaking about?
Well, they believe they've got something special when it counts. And, you've seen us, big Tyson Fury over there, produce the goods out against Klitschko, of course, in Germany against Deontay Wilder. And Billy Joe Saunders believes that he's here to take this opportunity at the weekend. I can't wait, Todd. I mean, this is an incredible fight. Great stare down there and great sets of fans as well. Of course, these are just the teams. You've got Tyson Fury and Billy Joe Saunders' team. You've got Canelo Alvarez's team. And tomorrow at the weigh-in, you will start seeing what the atmosphere is all about. Around 5,000 people coming just to the weigh-in. And on Saturday night, we break all kinds of records at the AT&T Stadium.
I talked about earlier how Billy Joe Saunders usually is a lot more vocal leading up to the camp, but he's been eerily quiet by his standards. Why do you think that is?
I just don't think he's been messing around. As much as the talk goes backwards and forwards, Billy Joe Saunders knows Canelo Alvarez is a tremendous fighter. So he's concentrated on this fight. This is his moment. I said up there, he talks about, I've just wanted this opportunity for a long time. Now he gets it. We're going to see if he's good enough, because he's coming up against the very best in the world in Canelo Alvarez. I've not seen this side of Canelo Alvarez before. There's a little bit of spite. Has Billy Joe got under his skin? We don't know. Maybe that's a good tactic. Who knows? But I'll tell you something now. The atmosphere on Saturday will be, I believe, the best atmosphere we've ever witnessed at a boxing event, certainly in my lifetime. I can't believe we're a part of it. I can't wait to watch it on Saturday live on Dazn. And this is a great fight. This is the toughest fight for Canelo Alvarez in the super middleweight division by far. Billy Joe Saunders is not the guy to come to collect a paycheck, to say thanks for having me, to walk out in front of 70,000 people and to crumble under pressure. He's actually the guy that will put in a special performance. It's going to have to be special, but I'll tell you what, this is a tremendous fight.
Well, Tyson Fury said when he fought Deontay Wilder the second time, he was going to go right after him and get a knockout. No one believed him, but that's what he did. Billy Joe Saunders, when asked yesterday, what's your strategy going to be? He said, I'm going to shock the world. I'm going to stand there and go toe-to-toe with Canelo. Are you buying that?
As we say, Todd, that he might be pulling your plonker with that one. I don't think that's going to be the case.
I'm not going to ask you what a plonker is.
No, don't worry about it. But I think it's Billy Joe Saunders has got a game plan. He's watched Canelo Alvarez for many years. They know exactly what they have to do to beat Canelo. A lot of people see that on tape. A lot of people think that can be done. And I think the interesting point which Canelo made there is, people talk about the likeness of Trout and Lara and Mayweather and how Canelo has struggled against those fighters in the past. That was 8 years ago. Canelo talks about his improvements, but we'll see those improvements because he'll have to show improvements as well. Because he has struggled against that style in the past. So he believes he's a different fighter now. We'll see on Saturday. Can Billy Joe Saunders rise to the levels needed to beat a pound-for-pound number one? You won't know, Todd, but in Great Britain, people have talked about Billy Joe for a long time. Coming out the amateur system, someone with tremendous talent. Sometimes he's lived a life, sometimes he hasn't. But he's lived the life for this fight coming off the Martin Murray performance. But when you look at his resume, there's no names to the level of Canelo Alvarez. So he has to prove on Saturday that he's a pound-for-pound great. And that's the only way he can beat Canelo Alvarez, is to be a pound-for-pound great fighter. We're going to find out.
There's always been a discussion about what is boxing's place right now in the current sports landscape. You've been complimentary about how the way UFC does things. But for my dollar, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me, when it comes to the big event, the one main event, boxing does it better than anyone else. What's this fight with 70,000 people, the main event, going to be like at AT&T Stadium?
Well, I mean, so many points to discuss there. Number one is the UFC is fantastic. Boxing is bigger than the UFC and the MMA. It has a better history. It has more credibility. It has more global appeal. It goes through generations and generations of people, especially in terms of the fan base watching on Saturday, right? But to come back with an event like this, the largest event post-pandemic, the largest crowd in America, in fact, one of the largest in the world, I think it's second or something like that, and the biggest ever crowd in an indoor arena in boxing history in the United States. I mean, that's tremendous. But it's a great shot in the arm for the sport. And the whole world will be watching on Saturday night. And we can stand there like peacocks and go, this is boxing. If we get it right, if we make the great matchups, if we promote it properly, if we can sell the narrative and get the fans engaged, we have mega events. So boxing's under siege right now. You've got reality stars, you've got YouTube stars. I've done some. Right?
Right, yeah.
But what you have to do is you have to show that new audience how great this sport is. And on Saturday night, like I said, we get the opportunity to stand there and be proud of our sport with a great fight, a great atmosphere, a great undercard, and just a chance to realise how great the sport of boxing is. So wherever you are in the world, you can watch it anywhere in the world on Dazn. Do not miss Saturday night. It's going to be thrilling. It's going to be nerve-wracking. It's going to be entertaining. It might be controversial in and out of the ring. Who knows? We've still got a couple of days to go. But wherever you are, do not miss this fight. Boxing is the greatest sport in the world. and you're going to see it at its very best on Saturday.
And he's not pulling your plunker when he says that, right?
Definitely not. I wouldn't do that.